Telling us about how after you had met Johnny, you'd gone out with Johnny to a football game, and Philip got real mad, and neither one of you knew that you were Philip's girl. Yeah. So after the football game, you must have realized you were Philip's girl. So what happened?
Well, I didn't go anyplace else with Johnny except maybe to the grocery store. But I always loved Johnny. He was like my protective brother, and we had there was never any friction between them except that time. Philip must have been hungry or something. But my dad was very unhappy about my getting married so young.
Oh, what age were you?
I was about 18 when we were actually married. But I think of your beautiful wedding, and I think of the difference in mine. We were married by a minister, but we had our witnesses. But I would have loved to have a white wedding, but
yeah.
But I had no chance of that, so I just bought a dress, and it was cream color, and it's the first time I ever saw, and it had a long jacket with it. Oh. And it's the first time I ever saw and loved a yellow green. It had a figure. The jacket had a figure in it. It was quite pretty.
Oh.
But you know that those pictures all burned when Mrs. Jarvis's little shed burned. We had moved to California and left our trunks in that little building, and all the things I had saved for the children, the baby stuff, and wedding stuff, even the pictures. We moved to California in suitcases, so everything we'd accumulated we lost. However, you want to hear more about Joanna, don't you?
Yeah.
She and Ruby Stewart, Mom's youngest sister, and Elsie, her middle sister, and Joanna were a trio. They ran around together. Elsie was the oldest, and Ruby was the youngest. And it was absolutely horrible.
What?
That Joanna and Ruby died within 2 years.
So
Ruby.
That's part of why their tombstones are so close together in the Overton Cemetery, I suppose.
Yeah. Ruby was engaged to be married to a boy named Charles Ashby, and they were at the community pool, and she was a good swimmer and a good athlete, and some way she slipped on the springboard, and hit herself, just ruined her stomach, and they rushed her to the doctor, but you couldn't do much with it. I know that Philip, this was before we were married, but I know now that he gave her blood just from, directly.
Yeah.
And I guess she lasted about 3 days, and they couldn't do anything for her. She hit so hard that she just ruined herself. And that and Aunt Mary, that was days of tragedy. And Aunt Mary and Uncle Roscoe had lost their only son. I think let's see, and their daughter Juanita, just very close together. It was close together enough that if it happened now, people would, they'd be, and you know, they would check things out. But of course, his problem was his tonsils were just in terrible shape, and when he had the surgery, he died, I guess, from the anesthetic.
Oh.
And Juanita was following her mother around in the garden, and they had put out some arsenic on
Plants
Irish potatoes on the tops of them, you know, and she got some of it on her hand, and her mother realized it and run and got her, but she apparently got a little bit of it in her mouth, and she died just a short time. Aunt Mary was just plain.
Now who was the person that ate the arsenic? That was Mary's daughter?
Mm-hmm. Her little girl.
Oh.
And she, you know, they followed their mother wherever their mother went. And that was after Leo died, so Aunt Mary just sat and rocked. And she had the girl who is her youngest child now, Lourene. She just wasn't herself for about 2 years. And
I bet that would drive you out of your mind.
Yeah, she just really, I don't think she could bear to see little people either. I think she just brought it back too much. And of course, having lost their only son was bad.
When did they do that?
What?
When did they lose the only son?
Their son died before the daughter.
Oh.
So now Ruby was not...
Ruby was Mary's sister.
Okay.
I don't know how Mrs. Stewart, Grandma Stewart, got through that time either, because that, you know,
it's just an unbearable amount of grief.
You just can't imagine. And we were afraid that she had a slight heart condition, and you know, but she's just made a. She was stronger than anybody else in the family.
Oh. Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to make this a wrap because we got to get on the road. But Aunt Laurie, that you were, I'm gonna say this again because I don't know if it came through on the other video. You were the most encouraging person next to my mom that I had in my childhood. Now I'm gonna cry.
Wow.
I love you so much, and I remember visiting you in California and staying there when I was a teenager, and I just love you so much, and I'll be back soon to visit you, and I'm gonna cry now, so I'm gonna stop the movie and we'll do this another day.
Well, I loved you as much